It is the year 742 AD. You are standing in the exact geometric center of the largest, most cosmopolitan and heavily policed metropolis on the face of the earth. This is Chang'an, the perpetual peace. As the capital of the Tang Dynasty under the brilliant Emperor Xuanzong, it is a sprawling, walled fortress city holding over 1 million human beings. It is the absolute terminus of the Silk Road, the undisputed cultural engine of Asia, and a masterpiece of obsessive urban engineering. Using advanced AI trained on the unearthed foundations of the Daming Palace, the recovered ledgers of the Silk Road outposts, and the immortal surviving poetry of the Tang Golden Age, we have meticulously reconstructed the absolute zenith of Chinese imperial majesty. We are going to strip away the myths of quiet, misty bamboo forests and plunge you directly into the roaring, hyper-regulated, fiercely international reality of the 8th century. Imagine managing a city divided into 108 perfectly locked boxes, taxing merchants from the deserts of Persia, and drinking wine with the greatest literary genius in history. This is 24 hours at the summit of the Tang Dynasty. The drumbeats finally cease. It is 5 a.m. Across the vast 30-square-mile grid of the city, heavy iron locks are simultaneously thrown open. Chang'an does not have open, winding neighborhoods. It is a strictly controlled chessboard. The city is divided into 108 enclosed wards, called fang, each surrounded by high, rammed earth walls and heavy wooden gates. When the morning drums finish sounding, the ward gates are legally permitted to open, and the city violently springs to life. You wake up in a lavish courtyard estate in the prestigious Pingkang Ward, located in the eastern half of the city. You are a high-ranking imperial magistrate, a brilliant scholar official who has survived the grueling, notoriously difficult imperial civil service examinations. Your morning routine is a masterpiece of refined elite culture. Servants bring you a bronze basin of steaming water. You wash and then carefully don the uniform of your profound authority. A long, sweeping, round-collared silk robe dyed a deep, official crimson. You fasten a heavy, stiff leather belt around your waist, adorned with cool, green jade plaques that instantly broadcast your high rank to anyone who sees you. Finally, you place the puto, the stiff black silk official's hat with its stiffened wings, upon your tightly coiled hair. Breakfast is not the delicate, clear tea of later centuries. In the Tang Dynasty, tea is a robust, highly energetic affair. A servant boils pulverized tea leaves in a copper cauldron, mixing it with a pinch of salt, scallions, and ginger. You drink the thick, bracing liquid from a celadon bowl, preparing your mind for the staggering, bureaucratic weight of the empire. By 7 a.m., you step into a covered, horse-drawn wooden carriage. You are traveling north toward the absolute center of the universe, the Daming Palace, the Palace of Great Brilliance. As your carriage rolls down the Zhuke Avenue, the Vermilion Bird Street, the sheer scale of Chang'an defies modern comprehension. This central avenue is a staggering 500 feet wide. It is a river of paved stones splitting the city perfectly in half, designed specifically to awe foreign diplomats and allow massive imperial armies to march 10 abreast. You approach the Danfeng Gate, the towering, majestic southern entrance to the palace complex. The architecture here is designed to project overwhelming celestial dominance. Massive, blood-red wooden pillars support sweeping, flared roofs covered in brilliantly glazed black and green tiles. The eaves stretch out like the wings of a descending phoenix. You join thousands of other officials in the vast flagstone courtyards for the morning audience. The silence among the gathered ministers is absolute. You stand perfectly still in your assigned row, holding a smooth, curved tablet of white ivory in front of your chest to shield your breath from polluting the imperial presence. Sitting on a raised, incredibly ornate wooden throne, obscured slightly by a veil of burning sandalwood incense, is Emperor Xuanzong. He is a ruler of profound, brilliant capability, a man who has ushered the Tang Dynasty into its most prosperous, culturally explosive era. The court operates with terrifying, machine-like efficiency. Eunuchs in embroidered robes read out military reports from the distant, freezing deserts of the Tarim Basin, where Tang armies are fiercely battling Tibetan and Turkic forces to keep the Silk Road open. You step forward, lowering your eyes entirely to the floor, and deliver a complex logistical report on the tax revenues of the massive city markets. The Emperor listens silently. In this room, a single, poorly phrased sentence can result in immediate exile to the malarial swamps of the far south. But your mathematics are flawless. You are dismissed with a subtle nod, and the immense machinery of the state continues to grind forward. By 11 a.m., you leave the hushed, terrifying formality of the palace and ride toward the western half of the city. You are entering the Jishi, the western market. If the Daming Palace is the brain of the empire, the western market is its roaring, chaotic, massively wealthy stomach. This single enclosed district contains over 40,000 registered shops. It is the absolute terminus of the Silk Road, and it is the most radically diverse international piece of real estate on the planet. You step out of your carriage and the sensory overload is immediate. You do not just see Han Chinese faces. You are completely surrounded by Sogdian merchants from Central Asia, wearing distinctive peaked felt hats and heavy woolen coats. There are Arab traders, Persian jewelers, and Indian monks. The air is thick, carrying the sharp, dizzying scents of imported cloves, saffron, and towering mounds of black pepper. As a magistrate, your job is to enforce the unyielding, microscopic regulations of the Tang legal code. You walk past the designated stalls of the horse merchants, where incredibly wealthy aristocrats are bidding on massive, muscular Ferghana horses, the sweat's blood horses of the West, imported specifically for the elite obsession with the violent, high-speed game of polo. You stop at a silk vendor's stall. A Persian merchant is trading silver Sasanian coins for bolts of incredibly fine, lightweight Chinese silk. You signal your guards. They step forward with heavy, standard-issue bronze weights and a wooden measuring stick. In Chang'an, cheating a customer on weight or measure is a severe crime punishable by brutal flogging with a heavy bamboo cane. You test the merchant's scale. It balances perfectly. The merchant bows deeply, his face pale with a sudden, sharp layer of sweat. The peace of the market is maintained by the absolute, unwavering threat of the law. By 2 p.m., the summer heat settles over the sprawling grid of the city. You ride toward the southern wards, seeking the quiet, intellectual refuge of the Great Wild Goose Pagoda. This towering 7-story masterpiece of rammed earth and brick is a monument to the staggering intellectual ambition of the era. It was built decades ago to house the priceless Sanskrit sutras brought back from India by the legendary rogue monk Xuanzong. The courtyards surrounding the pagoda are a sanctuary for the brightest minds in the empire. You walk past tranquil, beautifully maintained lotus ponds and groves of weeping willows. But the atmosphere here is incredibly tense for a specific group of young men. You watch a group of scholars dressed in simple, unadorned white linen robes, nervously pacing the stone pathways. These are the candidates for the Imperial Civil Service examination. They have spent their entire lives, from the time they were young boys, memorizing the thousands of complex characters of the Confucian classics, studying poetry, law, and history. They are waiting for the final, life-altering results to be posted. In the Tang Dynasty, true power is not strictly inherited by blood, it is earned through the brush. If a poor, intelligent farmer's son can pass this impossibly grueling written exam, he can be elevated instantly to the highest ranks of the imperial government. You watch a young man suddenly fall to his knees on the paving stones, weeping openly in absolute, overwhelming joy. He has passed. Following a deeply respected tradition, he is handed a brush and rich black ink, and he is allowed to carefully, proudly write his name on the interior brick walls of the Wild Goose Pagoda. It is a moment of profound meritocratic triumph, securing his legacy in the stone of the capital forever. By 6 p.m., the sun begins its descent, casting long, spectacular golden shadows down the completely straight, perfectly parallel avenues of the city. You ride back toward the eastern half of the city, entering the Pingkang Ward. As the sun sets, this specific ward transforms into the glittering, intoxicating heart of Chang'an's nightlife. The Pingkang Ward is the designated entertainment district, famous across the empire for its high-end taverns, exotic music, and brilliant, highly educated courtesans. You enter a lavish, multi-story wooden tavern operated by Persian immigrants. The interior is a sensory masterpiece. The floors are covered in thick, woven rugs. The air smells of roasting lamb and the sweet, heavy scent of fermented grape wine, a rare, exotic luxury imported from the western deserts, served in exquisite, translucent cups of green glass. The room is filled with wealthy merchants, off-duty military commanders, and the intellectual elite. You take a seat at a low, lacquered wooden table. In the center of the room, a female musician from the distant kingdom of Kucha is playing the pipa, a four-stringed, pear-shaped lute. Her fingers fly across the silk strings with blinding speed, filling the tavern with a fast, rhythmic, deeply foreign melody that completely captivates the room. But the true spectacle is happening at the table next to you. Sitting there, surrounded by empty wine jugs, is a man whose name will outlast the very walls of the city. It is Li Bai. He is the immortal in exile, the absolute, undisputed master of Chinese poetry. He is famously, spectacularly drunk, a state he claims is absolutely necessary to commune with the heavens. Despite his disheveled robes and the wine spilling down his chin, the entire tavern is watching him in hushed, reverent silence. Someone hands him a brush and a fresh, pristine scroll of paper. Without pausing to think, without a single moment of hesitation, Li Bai's brush strikes the paper. He writes with wild, sweeping, ferocious calligraphy. He is composing a poem about the moonlight reflecting off the yellow sands of the distant frontiers, about the fleeting nature of human glory, and the sorrow of soldiers dying at the edge of the world. He tosses the brush aside and recites the poem aloud, his voice booming over the sound of the pipa. The words are so piercing, so incredibly beautiful and perfectly structured, that several hardened military men in the room actually begin to weep. You are sitting in the presence of a living god of literature. In the Tang Dynasty, poetry is not just a hobby. It is the ultimate expression of the human soul, the highest form of communication, and the very fabric of the society. By 8 p.m., the magic of the tavern is abruptly, violently interrupted. From the distant drum tower in the center of the city, the massive hide drums begin to beat once again. 800 heavy, rolling strikes. The mood in the tavern instantly shifts to sheer frantic panic. The curfew is beginning. You and every other patron scramble out the doors. The streets of Chang'an become a desperate, sprinting race against time. The massive wooden gates of the 108 wards are slowly swinging shut. If you are caught outside the walls of your specific ward after the final drumbeat, the punishment is swift and brutal. You will be seized by the heavily armed night patrols of the Jinwu Guard, thrown into a military prison, and beaten mercilessly with heavy bamboo rods the next morning. You rush through the darkening streets, your silk robes catching the wind, slipping through the heavy gates of the Jincheng Ward, just as the heavy iron locking bar slams into place. By 10 p.m., the largest city in the world falls into absolute terrifying silence. The transition is mind-bending. A metropolis of over 1 million roaring, trading, laughing people is instantly reduced to the silence of a tomb. The wide, monumental avenues are completely, flawlessly empty, bathed in the pale light of the moon. The only movement is the slow, methodical marching of the armored night watchmen, their heavy leather boots echoing off the packed earth walls. You stand in the courtyard of your estate, listening to the absolute quiet. The Tang Dynasty has created a masterpiece of control. They have engineered a society that welcomes the entire globe during the day, absorbing the wealth, the spices, and the music of a dozen different empires, and then locks it all into perfectly secure, totally isolated boxes the moment the sun goes down. You do not know that this golden age is breathtakingly fragile. You do not know that in just over a decade, a massive, catastrophic military rebellion led by a frontier general named An Lushan will completely shatter this peace. The rebellion will plunge the empire into a devastating civil war. The emperor will be forced to flee into the mountains in disgrace, and the roaring, magnificent grid of Chang'an will be burned, looted, and left in ruins. But tonight, the walls still hold. The poetry is still wet on the paper. The silk is still flowing through the Western market, and the emperor still commands the heavens. You look up at the bright, clear stars over the Wei River Valley, breathing in the cold night air, a vital, living part of a civilization that achieved a level of brilliance the world will never, ever forget. This video is brought to you by the Paladin Learn History app. Scan the QR code to learn more history.